Hey developers, welcome to Code Connect. In today's video, we are going to see what are variables and constants in Golang. So for understanding what are variables, we need to understand its actual meaning. So for understanding that, let's take a real world example. Let's suppose you are having 1000 boxes and 1000 pair of shoes, and you have to put those shoes into the given boxes. Now how you will put those shoes? So one of the approaches is that you will select a pair of shoes and also select a box, and you will put that pair into the selected box, and you will do same things for all the 1000 pair of shoes. Now let's suppose in future you want a shoes with a name X. How you will find that shoes from the set of boxes? So like you need to search all the boxes, like you need to open the box and see whether that particular shoes is present or not. So the intelligent approach is, like, while placing the shoes into a box, we will label that box so that in future if we want a shoes with a name, some name, then we only need to like see the box which is having that name. So just like we are having box and we have assigned that box with a name, similarly in the programming world there is a memory which is similar to a box, and we assign name to that box or memory, and which can be used later in a program. So in that particular box or a memory, we can place our programming objects like integers, strings, characters, all these things we can place there, and we can name that particular box. And later in the program, if we want to use that particular like thing which we have stored in that box, then we can simply call the name of the box and we can use that. So, and these are called variables. So variables are basically boxes in which we store our programming data, and we name those variables, and we can use later in the program. Now let's see like how we declare variables in Golang, and how we name those variables and how we are using those variables in the program. So for this, if you are able to see that we can declare variables in two ways. First one using the var keyword, and second one using the shorthand syntax. So we will see each of these declaration. So for this, let's see this code snippet. So in this snippet, we are having a package main in which we are declaring two variables. So if you see, the first one is using the var keyword and second one is using the shorthand syntax. So in the var keyword, we have to specify the data type as well, and also the value. And if you see here, using the shorthand syntax, like here we don't need to specify the data type. The compiler infers the data type based on the value which we provide here. So like this is the example of our two declarations. Now let's see what are the key differences between these two declarations. So for this, let's see this. So here it's mentioned here, like using var keyword, we explicitly specify the data type. So here we are explicitly specifying the data type, while here we are not specifying the data type. So like this we also call as implicit declaration. Second one, if you see, can be used inside and outside functions. So like if you have declared variables using the var keyword, so you can declare those variables inside or as well as outside the function. So like there is no need to be a function for us to declare the variable. The third thing is like variable declaration and value assignment can be done separately. So if you see, like currently in this example, we are declaring variable value here, but by this statement it means that we can also declare the variable, but it's not important to assign the value here. We can assign the value later in the program as well. So by like if we don't assign any value, then by default it will assign the default value of the data type. So if you are having a string data type, then in that case it will assign empty string. If you are having integer, then in that case it will assign 0. So like this is the thing. Now let's see the statements for the shorthand syntax. So if you see here, it's mentioning that Go compiler infers the variable type based on the assigned value. So this one we already discussed, that the compiler infers like based on the value what is the data type. So in this it will infer as integer as a data type, and can only be used inside functions. So like this is the key difference between these. Like here it was like can be used inside and outside function. Like this can only be used inside function. So like if you have declared variable using this outside the function, then you can't like I think you will not be able to declare. We will see later in the program whether we are able to declare or not, or if we are declaring then we cannot use inside the function. So let's see the third, variable declaration and value assignment cannot be done separately. So here we can done separately, but here we cannot done separately, because like if you don't assign any value, then how compiler will infer which data type it is. Now this is the declaration. Now there are multiple ways of declaring variables in Golang. So if you see here, so the first way, like if we want to declare multiple variables, so like we can declare in a single line using the var keyword. So if you see, like we have declared 4 variables A, B, C, D using the var keyword, and at the same point of time we have assigned the value as well. So if you see, like when we run this program, the output is 1357. So let's see the second type of how we can declare multiple variables. So if you see, like here we have also provided the data type, so it will restrict us to like use only integer values here. Now here if you see in this var declaration, we have not assigned any data type. So here like it is taking it can take any type of values. So we can assign 6, and at the same point of time we can assign the string as well. And we can also create multiple variables using the shorthand syntax. If you see, like we have created 2 variables C and D using the shorthand syntax and have assigned different type of values. Let's see the third, using the block one. So like in this we have created a var block in which like if I zoomed it, we can declare any amount of variables. So like I have declared 3 variables here, and as well as assign value to those. So like we don't need to add the var keyword every time. So like we can like in the block we can add all the variables. So this is about the variables. Now let's see the constants. Like what are constants in Golang? So like constants are the variables, but like they are those kind of variables which cannot be updated later in the program. So like if we have created a constant, then we cannot update that its value later in the program. So if you see here, like it can be declared using the const keyword, and it's unchangeable and read only. So if you want to create constant in Golang, you have to use the const keyword. So let's see this code snippet in which we have created a const with the name of pi, and we have assigned value 3.14. And if you see, like if I try to like change its value, the compiler will give error. Now in Golang there are 2 types of constants. First one is the typed constant, and the second one is untyped constant. So if you see both of these snippets, in the first one we are assigning the data type here while declaring constant, while in the second code snippet we are not assigning any data type. So like we can add any value here. So like this is the key difference between these two. So I think like this is sufficient for variables and constants in Golang. We will see all these things in our code to get the more clarity, whether like as we have discussed, that whether we have to see this point, like variable declaration and value assignment cannot be done separately, or can only be used inside function. So we will check whether if we declare variable using shorthand syntax outside the function, how our code is behaving. So we will see this in code.